Wonderful. We're going to make our way onto our mat and just find a comfortable seat. I usually sit cross-legged, but if you're not accustomed to sitting on the floor, it might be more comfortable for you to be kneeling, or if you do have something to sit on, I have yoga blocks, but if you have a stack of books or maybe a cushion, you could sit up on that. And then if you're comfortable, let your eyes close. If you prefer not to, maybe you're just finding a soft point to gaze on. Kind of inviting in this conscious moment of calm, of quiet. Noticing where the activity of your mind goes as your room gets quiet, with your body still. Maybe scanning from the toes up the legs, out from the fingertips. Just notice how everything is feeling. For me, these last 2 weeks, I've been holding an incredible amount of tension in my shoulders. So a conscious reminder to let the shoulders drop away from the ears. Really enjoying this time, this opportunity to pause on your day. And enjoy the present moment. We'll take one more deep breath in here together. And as you exhale and let that breath out, let your right ear drop sideways towards your right shoulder. And as you do that, let the left shoulder stay heavy and stay as parallel as you can make it with your right shoulder. A really simple, subtle movement can bring a lot of sensation into that left side of the neck. So notice that. And then if it's comfortable, your left fingertips can come down next to your hips and just start to walk those fingertips away. Notice how that changes the sensation in the neck, maybe bring some feeling into the upper arm. And then if it feels okay, we're gonna rotate the neck. So drawing your chin towards your right shoulder, keeping that left arm extended out if you can. Again, just noticing how that shifts the sensation in the neck, shifts the stretch. Notice if you started to hold the breath, especially if you're feeling a lot of sensation here. Invite the breath back in. And then we'll walk those left fingertips back in towards your hips. Lift the head up, bring the chin back to neutral, a little turn. We'll take a deep breath in together, and then as you exhale, same thing onto the other side. Left ear drops towards your left shoulder. And I feel a lot more sensation here in my body. I'm right side dominant, so that makes sense. Notice the difference in the two sides. And then that right hand can come towards the mat and then start to just walk those right fingertips away from you. And gently reaching out as far as you can. And then maybe on your next breath, adding in that rotation, turning your head so your chin points more towards your shoulder. You're looking down more at the left knee. Right hand is still reaching away from you. Still finding that time, that space to breathe. Thanks. And then walk that right hand back in, lift the face, lift the chin. As you inhale, we're going to reach both arms up and overhead. Nice. And as you exhale, we'll bring the hands in front of us. We're going to bring our right arm underneath our left arm. You can cross one time and just give yourself a little bear hug. You could bring the backs of the hands together, or if you have room, you can wrap around at the wrist, bring the palms together in a variation of eagle. It's the eagle arms here. Bringing your attention to your elbows, we're going to pull the elbows forward and up, kind of away from the face. Maybe start to lift this whole shape up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we'll unwind the arms. We're going to bring our left hand behind us, our right hand to the top of our right thigh. Take a deep breath in, reach the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, the chest turns towards your left, coming into a little twist. Inhale, now this left hand, your back hand is going to reach up and over, coming across, looking for your opposite knee. Allow the spine to press back behind you, a little round. Thanks. And then as you inhale and sit up tall, keep the arms crossed, bring the hands back up. Again, you could be wrapping just once, maybe backs of the hands touch, or you're wrapping at the wrist as well, palms touch together. Elbows reach up and away as maybe you start to lift the chest, the face. And as you exhale, the arms unwind, right hand comes behind you this time, left arm comes across, reaching for that outer right thigh. Inhale, we sit up a little taller, and exhale, we find that twist. Inhale, the back hand, the right hand reaches up towards the ceiling. Over the head, crosses over that left hand towards the left knee. Allow yourself a little round drop of the chin. Nice. Inhale, we'll sit up tall, uncross the arms. You're going to come to the top of our mat, coming down to all fours. And we're going to spread the fingers as wide as we can. Think about reaching your thumbs in towards each other. They're trying to reach to touch. Knees are underneath the hips, and let's tuck the toes under and really press into the toes, into the balls of the feet. On your next inhale breath, we're going to drop the belly down, lift the tailbone, and lift the chest and arch into the spine, coming into cow pose. And as you exhale, opposite motion, the spine lifts towards the ceiling as the tailbone and the chin tuck under, pressing into the hands, pressing into the knees for cat. Nice, a few more rounds like that. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. And exhale, round through the spine. Feel the shoulder blades moving away from each other. Nice. Inhale, cow. Nice, and exhale, cat. Nice, you can stick with this cow and cat motion, keeping the knees on the floor, inhale. Or on your next exhale breath, if you'd like to, as you round the spine, lifting it into cat pose, maybe you hover the knees just an inch above the mat. On your inhale breath, all of our knees will be on the mat as we drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the chest, stretch it out. And 2 more times. Exhale into cat pose. Staying there, maybe pressing into the feet, into the hands, lift the knees. Inhale, knees come down, belly drops, tailbone and chest lift. One more time, exhale, cat pose. Staying here or lifting the knees. And we'll hold whatever shape we're in for 3, for 2. Nice, last breath. Drop the knees down. Inhale, lift the chest. Lift the tailbone, Stretch it out. Nice. And then we're going to come to a neutral spine, so that place between your cat and cow stretch. Maybe you're feeling your core a little bit more engaged. You want to feel those bottom ribs and the top of your hips pulling in towards each other to keep everything stable. On your next inhale breath, we're going to reach that right hand straight forward. Palm faces in or to the left. Thumb is going to face up towards the ceiling. Nice. Keep pressing into that left hand into both knees. We're going to start to rotate out through the shoulder. So as you inhale, lift your right thumb up towards the ceiling. When you can't lift it any higher, flip the palm so it faces away from you and let that hand come down by the hips. And then we reverse it. So now we lift the pinky side edge of the hand up towards the ceiling until we can't anymore. Rotate at the shoulder, turn the palm to face in, thumb up, and bring the hand back forward. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, that hand lifts up. Rotate it out, bring it around back behind the hips, and then lift the pinky up, rotate, bring the hand forward. Nice. 1 more time. This should feel like a good amount of work in the shoulder. Bring it back, and then lift it up last time. Rotate, palm faces in, thumb will face up towards the ceiling, hand reaches forward. On your next inhale breath, we're gonna reach that right finger, or all those fingertips up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, we're gonna thread that right arm underneath the left arm, coming down onto that right shoulder. If it's comfortable, you can bring your right ear all the way to the mat. If you have a prop, a pillow or a block, you could bring the ear to your prop. And then with your left hand on your mat just in front of your face, you can keep the palm down or maybe come up onto the fingertips. Point that left elbow up towards the ceiling and just a little press to try and open up that twist a little bit more. Thanks. Lay the left hand down on the mat, press into that left hand, come back onto all fours, hands and knees. And then just rock this forward and back a little bit. Shake it out, resetting. And we'll come back to all fours and let's just reconnect with our foundation here. We're going to reach those thumbs towards each other. Fingers are spread nice and wide, pressing down into the entire hand. And then press into the toes, into the knees. On your next inhale breath, we're going to reach that left hand straight forward, starting with those shoulder rotations. So you're reaching those fingertips out like you're trying to maybe high five an invisible person in front of you. And as you inhale, we're going to lift that left thumb up towards the ceiling. Rotate that hand so it faces away from you, and then bring that hand down alongside the hips. And then the opposite motion, excuse me, pinky lifts up, we rotate the hand in and reach forward. And we'll do that 2 more times. Again, this should feel like a good amount of effort in that left shoulder. So we're looking for that end range of motion, really getting into all of those muscles that hold your shoulder joint in place. 1 more time. Nice. The next time you're reaching forward, pause. And then as you inhale, sweep those left fingertips up towards the ceiling, reach as high as you can up. And as you exhale, we're gonna thread that left hand underneath the right arm, this time coming down onto the left shoulder and the left ear. Maybe you're tensing up onto those right fingertips. Point that right elbow up towards the ceiling and just a gentle press of the floor away to try and maybe stack the shoulders a little bit more, open the chest towards the right side of the mat. Nice. If you're up on those right fingertips, please bring the palm back towards the floor. Press into the right hand, come back to all fours. We'll just do those little rocks forward and back, maybe side to side. Nice. And then we're going to walk the hands each about 1 handprint forward on your mat. So you're a little bit extended. Your hips are going to be in front of your knees. You can stay right here for your plank pose, or if you'd like, those toes are tucked under, start to press into the feet, lift the knees up off the mat, coming into a high plank. Take one deep breath in. And as you exhale from wherever you are, we're all gonna lift the knees up, start to press the hips up and back, coming into your downward facing dog. You're making a triangle shape here where your hips are trying to be the highest point of your triangle. Maybe you're pedaling out through the feet, reaching the heels a little bit closer towards your mat as you bend into the opposite knee. Make sure your hands are still pressing down into the floor, your thumbs are still reaching out towards each other. And then come into stillness just for a deep breath. Try and reach your tailbone up towards the ceiling as you maybe press your heels down a little bit closer towards the floor. They don't have to touch. You'll notice that my heels don't touch, my knees stay bent. We're trying to find that length, that reach in the spine, more than the length in the legs. We'll take one more deep breath. On your exhale breath, bend your knees deeply, come up onto the balls of your feet, lift your heels, and then start to walk your feet forward towards your hands. Coming closer towards the top of your mat, we'll come into a forward fold. Feet about hip width distance apart, and let the weight kind of center over the arches of your feet. Maybe your toes can even lift. As you fold forward, can you relax through the neck? Imagine a weight on the crown of your head. Let that weight on the crown of the head really almost traction your spine, especially your neck down towards the floor. If the floor is not close underneath your hands, you can find those props again. Maybe bring the hands up onto props just for a little bit more support. On your next breath in, we're gonna root down into the heels. So maybe soften the knees a little bit, really feel the weight down into the heels. Start to tuck at the tailbone. We're gonna roll ourselves up to standing. So the tailbone will tuck under. And then as best you can, one vertebrae at a time, start to lift yourself up until your ears are over your shoulders. I'm headless. Thanks. We're gonna take a deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we're gonna sink our hips down, bend our knees, and reach our arms up towards the ceiling, coming into a chair pose. So you can choose to keep your feet about hip width distance apart if you feel more supported by walking the feet in so that your knees can hug in towards each other. You could do that too. And the arms reach up by the ears. Think about pressing the thumbs towards the back of the room or whatever's behind you. Thanks. And my intention here is absolutely that you will feel this posture, because the more sensation we have in our bodies, the more grounded we are in the present moment, right? We'll take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to straighten the legs and come back into that forward fold. Thanks. And in this forward fold, again, you could have your hands down on the floor on props, and then shake your head yes and no. Really let the tension in the neck. Try and let it go. On your next inhale breath, we're going to lift halfway up, making an upside down L shape with our torso. The tailbone reaches back, the crown of the head reaches forward. Bring the fingertips down onto the mat. Maybe that means you're bending your knees. And then we're going to step this left foot all the way back, finding a lunge shape. We're going to drop this back knee down. Nice. And again, maybe those props are underneath your hands to support you here. Maybe you feel balanced without them, or you can reach the floor. We're going to ground down into that right foot, and as you inhale, we're all going to reach arms up towards the ceiling, up by the ears, coming into a low lunge. One of my favorite postures. We're going to get strong and steady in this lunge. The action in the legs keeps you balanced. So we're going to ground down into that right heel and that left knee. The left knee feels like it's trying to pull forward, and the right heel pulls a little bit back. So we'll take one more breath. As you exhale, float both hands down towards the mat or towards your props. Start to press into this right heel and shift the hips back to straighten out the right leg. Those right toes are gonna lift up off the floor, and then we're gonna just wiggle our right heel forward to keep our hips stacked on top of that left knee. Those right toes lift up towards the ceiling, and maybe you're staying upright. You might be feeling a significant sensation on the back of the leg. If you're still looking for that stretch, maybe you find a little bit of space to hinge and fold forward over that right leg. So you can stay right here, continuing to breathe in this half split space. Or maybe those right toes, start to rotate them out towards the right side of your mat. Notice how that changes the sensation. You should shift your stretch more into that outer hamstring, outer hip. And if you have that foot rotated, go ahead and bring it back. Toes point out towards the ceiling. On your exhale, we're gonna rotate those toes in to face the left side of your mat a little bit more. This one offers me a lot of deep sensation in the inner thigh, really all the way down my calf. Okay. And then if your toes are rotated in, we'll bring them back towards center. We'll take one more deep breath in, full breath out. Your inhale will start to rebend into this right knee. Plant your hands down either side of that right foot. Tuck your left toes under, lift that left knee up and off the mat. Nice. Plant your hands down and step that right foot back to meet your left foot. You can pause in your plank pose. And then as we exhale, we'll all meet back in our downward facing dog. And maybe you pedal out those feet again. Maybe noticing a difference in sensation between your right side and your left side. Thanks. Deep breath in to lift the heels high, bend the knees, look forward toward your thumbs. As you exhale, we'll walk the feet back towards the front of our mat. Inhale, let's find that halfway lift, that upside down L shape. Tailbone reaches back, crown of the head reaches forward. And as you exhale, we'll find that fold. Inhale, let's roll ourselves up to standing, softening the knees, tucking the tailbone, and then letting one vertebrae stack on top of the one before it. Nice. Deep breath in. As you exhale, bend the knees, drop the hips, reach the arms up towards the ceiling, coming back to our chair pose, Utkatasana. Nice. Tailbone reaches down, weight is back in the heels. Arms reach up by the ears, maybe you press the thumbs back behind you towards the ceiling. One more deep breath. As you exhale, go ahead and fold over the knees, straighten the legs. Inhale, we'll lift halfway up. Nice. Exhale, we're gonna plant the fingertips or the hands down onto the floor, soften the knees. It's the right foot that steps back this time. Right knee drops down towards the mat. Ground down into that left heel and that right knee, and as you inhale, start to get light on the fingertips, reach them up towards the ears, finding that low lunge. Nice. We're looking for some sensation on the front of that right thigh. As the hips are drawing kind of in towards each other and trying to stay level, we're also trying to drop them down towards the floor. We'll take one more deep breath. Thanks. Exhale and float the hands down towards the mat or towards your blocks. We'll start to press into that right heel, or left heel, excuse me, straightening out the left leg. Lift the left toes up and then wiggle that heel forward. So your hips are still stacked on top of your right knee. Left toes peel up towards the ceiling. Inhale for length. Maybe you're staying right here. Maybe you're even more upright. And as you exhale, if there's any space there, or if you're not feeling a stretch, you're folding forward. This is half splits. Ardha Hanumanasana. Breathing into the back of that left leg, wherever you're feeling that sensation. And then again, maybe you're staying right here, just enjoying that deep muscle stretch in the back of the left leg, or you can start to rotate the left toes out towards the left. And that rotation is coming from the head of the femur bone, where your thigh bone inserts into your hip. So the whole leg, the knee, the toes is rotating out. And you're breathing. And let's come back through center. And as you exhale, we're going to rotate that leg in, internal rotation in the hip. And stretching out these legs, these big leg muscles is really good. We spend so much of our time sitting with them kind of in a shortened state. We have that 90-degree angle in our chairs. Nice. And now we'll lift those toes back up towards the ceiling. Let's start to bend into that left knee, walking the hands forward. We'll plant the palms down onto the mat, tuck the right toes, set that left foot back. Again, maybe you're breathing for a second in your plank pose, hugging in towards midline. And as you exhale, we'll all shift hips up and back, downwards facing dog. Deep breath in, lift the heels high, bend the knees, look forward towards your thumbs. As you exhale, walk your feet forward, towards your thumbs, top of your mat. And as you exhale, we'll forward fold. You can stay right here in this fold that we've been working in. Or maybe you reach the hands behind the back. You can interlace the fingers and then stretch the fingers up towards the ceiling so the arms are straight. And this might offer you the sensation you're looking for in your shoulders, or maybe those hands start to fold or fall forward rather towards the top of your mat. Okay, so your next inhale breath, the hands are bound, release them down. Find that half lift, that length through the spine. And as you exhale, let's step the left foot all the way towards the back of your mat. We're going to keep that left knee lifted this time and let the heel drop in so your instep is facing towards the front of your mat. We're going to press down into both feet, and as you inhale, open the arms out wide, coming into your warrior two stance. And headless. Nice. You're going to look forward over that front fingertips. Really root down into the feet, this right knee, try and point it over your right middle toes. On your next inhale breath, you're going to flip that right palm to face the ceiling, reach forward a little bit to make some room. And as you exhale, curl back, reaching that right hand up towards the ceiling. Nice. On your next exhale breath, right elbow is going to come lightly onto that right knee, or maybe hand comes down onto a block. Left hand can stay on the hip, or it can reach up towards the ceiling, coming into a side angle posture. Nice. And then let's all bring that left hand towards the left hip. We're going to press down into this right knee and straighten out this right leg as the hip shifts back, coming right into a triangle pose. Right hand is lightly on that right shin, maybe on your block or your stack of books or your coffee table, whatever is near you. And then again, this left hand can stay exactly where it is, or it can reach up towards the ceiling, totally up to you. This is my favorite standing posture for that inner thigh stretch it offers. And your next breath in, we're going to ground down, press down into the feet, squeeze the inner thighs together, and then start to lift the torso up, bringing the shoulders on top of the hips. Pivot this right foot so the toes point towards the left side of your mat. Hands on the hips, and as you exhale, we're going to start to fold forward, just coming into a wide forward fold. Hands can come down at any time onto the floor, onto blocks. And just like in our other forward fold, we're going to try and relax through the back of the neck so the top of the head hangs heavy towards the floor. Nice. Your next inhale breath, let's walk the hands forward, finding that same halfway lift through that spine. The tailbone reaches back, the crown of the head reaches forward. Really press down into the feet, squeeze the inner thighs together, get light on those fingertips, and start to find your way back up to standing. Nice, and then we're gonna pivot towards the left. So our left toes are going to point towards the short side of your mat. And then we're gonna bend into this left knee, coming right into our warrior two on this side. Arms reach out in opposite directions. You're gazing over those left fingertips, your front fingertips. You're sinking the weight down into the feet, pressing all the way out through the outer edge of the back foot and into that front heel. Nice. On your next inhale breath, we're gonna flip the left palm so it faces the ceiling. Reach forward towards the top of your mat a little bit and then curl up and back, finding this reverse warrior shape. Big deep stretch on that left side body. Nice. And as you exhale, left elbow lightly to the top of the left knee. Right hand can be on the hip here, kind of guiding this left knee out towards the left, your left side of the mat. Or you can reach this arm up towards the ceiling. Again, intentionally offering some postures that are a good amount of work. And then we'll bring our right hand towards our right hip. We're gonna start to straighten out into this left knee, and as we straighten out, the hips automatically shift back, Trying to straighten out that leg as much as possible. The left hand can come lightly onto that left shin, maybe to the floor if it's available, or onto a block. And then that right hand can reach up towards the ceiling. Finding that space to breathe, maybe for a little smile, appreciating the movement that your body's able to do. Thanks. We'll bring that right hand back towards the hip. Start to squeeze the inner thighs together, press into the feet, lift the torso up. Pivot the left toes so your toes point all forward. And one more time, we're gonna come into that wide-legged forward fold. Let's come right down into it for a minute. You can find that bind again. Maybe interlace your fingers the other way. Bring your other thumb on top just to mix it up a little bit. And then we'll all bring the hands down towards mat or blocks. As you inhale, walk the hands forward so they're just underneath the face. Lifting up halfway, reaching the tailbone back. We're gonna plant the left hand down. It can be on fingertips, maybe palm, or maybe you have that lift underneath you. As you inhale, we're gonna reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, coming into a little twist. Nice, so try and keep the hips as level as possible. Maybe consciously try and lift that left hip a little higher. Nice, and as you exhale, release and forward fold. Inhale, we'll come back to that halfway lift. Hands underneath the face. It's the right hand that plants down this time. Fingertips, palm, or block underneath you. As you inhale, it's the left hand that reaches up towards the ceiling, rotating into the spine. Try and find that conscious lift of the right hip. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, one more time, forward fold all the way in. Nice. Inhale, walk the hands forward, supporting the upper body. Let's heel toe those feet in. Bringing the heels underneath the hips. And exhale, one more time, forward fold. Maybe the knees are a little soft. Maybe you find opposite elbows. Allow yourself to sway side to side. Nice. Then we'll bring our fingertips to the mat. We'll make our way back to the tops of our mat, however you'd like to get there. Nice. Now let's bend the knees a lot, plant the palms down on the floor, step the feet back. We'll do one more plank posture. Taking one deep breath in. And as you exhale, one more time, downwards facing dog. Press the mat away from you, hips lift up towards the ceiling. Maybe heels this time reach a little bit closer towards the mat. And as you exhale, we're going to bring the knees down towards the mat. Bring the knees in close towards each other. Heels in line. And we're going to tuck our toes under. Make sure you get all of them. I have to assist my baby pinky toe under. And we're just going to sit down on the heels, on the toes. This offers usually a lot of sensation, so feel free to shift the weight forward and give yourself a little relief. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here. 2 more. Coming out of this whenever you need to, but also knowing that the discomfort of the stretch is temporary. Last breath. Nice job. And we'll walk the hands forward, lifting the weight off of the feet, and then just carefully untuck the toes. Press the tops of the feet down, just a little counter stretch, a little neutralization. And then you can cross your ankles behind you and find your way back towards your seat. Scoot myself. We'll bring the soles of our feet together to touch and let our knees fall open. If you find that doing this kind of causes you to need to round into the low back, kind of like this, maybe see if you can find something, maybe a block or a pillow to bring underneath your sitting bones so that you can find kind of a taller spine here. And once you find that seat on an exhale breath, if there's room, if you're already feeling sensation, this is your stretch. But if you haven't found that yet, start to fold forward, guiding the chest down towards the toes. Your next inhale breath, we'll sit up tall, bringing the shoulders back on top of the hips. Let's bring the hands behind us to support. Bring the soles of the feet to your mat. And then you're going to lift your right leg up and cross it over your left leg. If this is not really a comfortable way to get into this posture, you can also straighten out the left leg. And then bring the sole of the foot back towards the floor. Nice. You can stay right here, maybe walk the hands in, sit the chest a little bit closer towards the leg. You're trying to push this right knee straight ahead in front of you as much as you can. You should feel a good amount of sensation on that outer right hip. And I like to just kind of rock my left leg side to side. And you'll find that deepest stretch, kind of where the muscle feels the tightest. And then I hold it. Now let's start to straighten out your left leg, and we'll straighten out the right leg to meet it. You can kind of shake out the legs, bend the knees. And then finding your sit bones underneath you, inhale to reach the arms up tall, flex into the feet. And as you exhale, just a little forward fold. Maybe you're reaching the feet, maybe the shins. I like to just have my hands alongside, even palms face up. And inhale, we'll sit up tall. We'll do the same stretch on the other side. So we'll walk the hands back, cross the left leg on top of the right, and then bend into that right knee, bring the sole of the foot to the mat. It's kind of like bringing the stretch to you. And then find where it feels the most. Maybe rocking side to side. Keep pressing this left knee gently towards the top of your mat. And that's just to keep that muscle group engaged, keep it working, which will keep your nervous system working on it. And then we'll start to straighten out this right leg. Uncross, a little bounce in the knees just to shake it out. Let's bring the soles of the feet back to the mat. Knees are bent. Make sure you have room behind you. And as you inhale, reach the arms forward. And as you exhale, as slowly as you can or as slowly as you'd like to, start to lower yourself down onto the mat. You can tuck the tailbone under and just feel that whole spine start to round down. Maybe when you find that shake in the core, maybe embrace that for a moment. And then release all the way down. Let's hug both knees in towards the chest. And then let your left arm extend straight out to the left, straight if you have the space, or you could bend at the elbow. Nice. And as you exhale, both knees are going to drop over towards the right side of your mat, finding a twist. The face can stay up towards the ceiling, or you could turn it towards the left, looking towards the left fingertips. Bring that twist also up into the neck. Your next breath in, start to lift the knees, bringing them back into the chest. And switching sides, so the right arm extends straight out, or again, maybe that goalpost arm, that bend of the elbow. And as you exhale, both knees come over to the left side of your mat. And now we'll bring the knees back into the chest, coming back onto the back side of your body. Keep the knees in. Then bring the hands to the shins, or maybe they can wrap around the legs. Squeeze all the muscles in your legs in tight, maybe round through the toes, make fists. If it feels comfortable, you can bring the head up towards the knees and just making everything tight, contracting all your muscles. And on an exhale breath, we're going to extend everything out long, both legs, both arms. Relax the face. Let the feet fall out towards the sides, the edges of your mat. Let the breath be kind of easy, natural. Here for the next few minutes, you can stay in this present moment without the body working, without that sensation. You follow the breath. And starting to bring your awareness back into your body, making small movements with your hands and your feet. Taking a deep breath in and out through the nose. And maybe you reach your arms up and over the head, and as you take a breath in, stretch long through your whole body. And as you breathe out, let all of that go. You can bend the knees, pull the knees in towards the chest. And you can choose how to find your way back up. Maybe you roll over to one side. Use your top hand to pull yourself up, or maybe you rock and roll long ways on the spine. But let's find our way back to a comfortable seat. And if you're comfortable here, closing the eyes. You can rest the hands on the legs, or maybe bring hands towards heart center, palms pressed together. This ancient traditional gesture of gratitude. Being thankful that you had the time to be on your mat this afternoon. That you're safe and healthy in your home. That this too shall pass us by. And I am so grateful to have been here with you all virtually this afternoon. Thank you so much for holding this space for me. I'll take a deep breath in all together. And a full breath out. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful and at ease. Thank you so much.